Hey guys, not a lot going on right now, but I want to make a video because it is getting hot up here in Washington State. We've had, it get up to 85 and 90, and we've even gotten higher than that a few times, which is rare up here. I know some of you people live in places where maybe the temperature gets into the triple digits or higher frequently, but this is about as hot as it gets, and usually every year this sort of thing happens, but still, it's boiling up here, and there's something about this kind of weather that triggers my desire to watch football. I think it's probably because, this weather usually comes right before the preseason starts and, continues on until the season starts. So, feeling this heat, knowing how hot it is and everything, excuse me, it's kind of making me want to get back into football because, like during the spring and early summer, I was really getting into basketball and I wasn't thinking about football, but this weather, I think it's getting me back in the mood. So, obviously baseball's going on. I'm not really watching that. I'm following it, but I'm not watching the games. So we're almost there. It's 2 weeks until the preseason starts, I think. Things are going to be fun. We open up the preseason in, I think, again, 2 weeks or a little less with the Bills and the Titans, which is kind of an odd matchup, but it's football. I guess we're going to do the Hall of Fame induction ceremony right before the preseason starts, and I wonder if the teams playing at the preseason are going to have any significance with who gets inducted. I can't remember who got inducted, but sometimes they do it like that, where the teams that players got big on, the players that get inducted, they have the teams that they played for play. But I can't remember who got inducted off the top of my head, so we'll see. I'm just ready for this season to start. I personally don't have really high hopes for my team, but I really don't care. I just want to watch football. I mean, throughout since the season ended, I haven't really felt like, oh man, I miss football, I really want to have football back, but now it's getting to that time. So I'm trying to put together something with Shango. Hopefully we can get that going. A podcast thing where we can talk about the league. I don't want to get into that quite yet, but just want to let you guys know I'm getting back in the mood, so I'm going to be talking more about it very, very soon. Again, I think it's a mistake to put too much stock into the preseason, but it's interesting if nothing else. I don't really have much to say about things that are going on in the NFL right now because it's kind of a dead zone right now. So, let's look at basketball real quick because there are some things going on there. Odom. I don't know what's going on with Odom. It seems like his agent is just doing a poor job at this. The Trevor Ariza thing was a great example of an agent screwing up. He was, playing hard to get, trying to get the most amount of money that he could, but then I can't remember exactly the timeline of what happened, but he ended up in Houston, a considerably worse team than the Lakers, especially now that Yao Ming looks like he won't play and they don't have Artest. So now he's in a considerably worse situation, making the MLE, which is as much as LA was offering him. LA must have been offering him at least the MLE, maybe even more, but he got screwed there. He's now on a worse team, making the same amount of money he would have made on the Lakers. And this Odom thing, I know somebody commented on a previous video saying they hate this phrase, but in this economy, I don't think Odom's going to pull down 8 digits. I think he's a better player than some people think, and I would probably be willing to give him $10 million a year. Not much more than that, though. So if he's looking for more than that, that's a little crazy. But I don't know what he's playing around with. I don't know how many teams out there are going to be able to offer him the kind of money he seems to be looking for, but LA gave him, I think, a fair offer, and I'm not sure why he didn't take it. And this could end poorly. LA could suddenly go out, find a replacement, and then Odom is stuck going to a team like the Grizzlies or some bad team that you don't want to be a part of. So I know that Miami Heat are talking with him, but I don't get that. I don't know what they're doing in Miami. They're showing interest in good players, which is great, but Odom, I don't see. I mean, I know he has point guard handles, but he's not any better at it than Dwayne Wade or Mario Chalmers. Unless they're getting like somebody who's an extremely good point guard, I don't think it's worth it for that. He's obviously a power forward who can kind of sort of play shooting forward. But, the Heat have Udonis Haslem, who's not a great player, but he's very serviceable and underrated. So their pressing need is not a power forward. And they also have Beasley, who is a power forward as well, but can also play small forward. So I don't see the purpose of having Lamar Odom when you have Beasley and Haslem. And also they're looking at Boozer, which also doesn't really make sense to me because things are already a little crowded at that power forward position. I mean, I'm looking at center, and Odom, I guess he can, kind of sort of play center, but ideally you definitely don't want that. Boozer, same thing. You could probably force him to play center, but it's not going to be pretty necessarily. So I don't really get that. But I do think eventually he will come back to the Lakers. He's just testing the waters a little bit. Rubio is talking with Minnesota about all this, trying to decide if he can actually come and play with them or not. I hope it works out because that's a fun team. You know, Al Jefferson, Kevin Love. I think it would have been a lot funner if they took Curry instead of Flynn. I mean, you're talking about Rubio, Curry, Jefferson, and Love. But didn't work out. What else? Oh, the Blazers were trying to get Paul Millsap off the Jazz. The Jazz matched the offer. I personally don't care because I think Millsap is a pretty mediocre player that's not worth all the hype he's getting. He seems like the kind of player who has to expend a lot of energy to play well, and by the time the playoffs roll around, he's just got nothing left. Turkoglu used to be one of those kinds of players. Just have to exert so much energy to play well. That's really about it for the NBA right now. All these significant news. I know Randolph had a huge game the other night. I'm excited for Randolph. I think Anthony Randolph. I think he's going to have a great career, and hope things work out for him. He needs some playing time. He really needs some playing time. Nothing new to report in baseball, really. Again, I'm getting in a football mood, and if you are too, you can comment down below or not. I don't really care, but that's it. I'll see ya.